What's up, guys? Sir Sly here. You know what? I just need to talk about a few things really quick. That's all this video is. Discussions. Basically, I got a message on my channel by some lady. You know, she's like in her 50s. She really is against smoking pot to relax for any reason unless it's medicinal. But I really don't think she even agrees with that, you know. But that brings me to another point. You guys don't leave questions on my channel. If you want to leave like a comment like, hey, you know, love your channel or whatever, or like a suggestion, go for it. But I really don't see those that often. And I can't figure out how to reply to the messages on my channel page. So if you guys, you know, need a serious question answered, the best way to do it is probably to a more recent video I've uploaded. But anyway, guys, I want to talk about this war on drugs and what it's actually done to America and to America's children. The youth these days, I mean, honestly, you guys, I mean, we should just let them smoke some pot, literally. Because I don't know if you guys have heard of this or not, but if anyone knows about bath salts, you know, like not the stuff you just pour in your bath. I'm talking about the stuff kids are snorting these days to get high. They got bath salts, they got incense, they got potpourri, they've got energy pills that mimic ecstasy. You can buy all this stuff at gas stations. All of them are completely legal and completely dangerous. And I've watched a couple intervention episodes on TV where this kid, you know, he's been doing bath salts for 7 months. His mom caught him smoking pot. She kicked him out of the house because he was smoking pot. What did he do? He stopped smoking pot and got into bath salts because it's something that doesn't come up on drug tests. It's something that's legal. You can buy it anywhere. And it gets you high. I mean, it gets you really high. The problem is it causes psychosis, causes brain damage. I mean, they don't even know what all the side effects are of this stuff. This stuff is extremely dangerous. And it really bothers me when I see, you know, like I watched the American Weed episode the other day. And honestly, I didn't really like the American Weed episode that much. Those brothers, if they even really are brothers, they all just seem like a bunch of actors to me, creating drama. I mean, it's just like, oh, you forgot the Bubba Kush? What the heck, man? I mean, oh, the water's frozen. Oh, no, it's not. I just said that to bring some drama to the episode. I mean, honestly, I think the show's kind of lame. And the biggest lamest thing about the show is that guy Scoot on the motorcycle talking about how the future of the children is all that matters. And you got to protect the youth from themselves and from weed. And it's just stupid. Because what you're doing is you're forcing children to get into, I mean, not children, you're just forcing kids, you know, teenagers. I mean, you can't stop a teenager from doing what he wants to do, man. That's why they're teenagers. I mean, everyone was a teenager at one point. Everyone hated their parents when they were. No one wanted to hear what their parents had to say. And if your parents told you to do something, you pretty much did the opposite. I mean, that's what being a teenager is about. You're finding out who you are. You're experiencing life. Experiencing your own music taste, you know, you're figuring out what you like in life. That's what being a kid's about. And when you try to force kids to do something, they find alternatives, you know. And the alternative to weed, let's face it, is now pot, synthetic pot called potpourri or incense, synthetic bath salts which mimic cocaine and cause, I mean, psychosis. This kid slit his throat in front of his own dad. He was hallucinating. He saw a bunch of cop cars in the street. The dad says, son, there's no cop cars out there. And the kid goes, well, then I'm going to kill myself. And he just instantly grabbed a butcher's knife and slashed his throat open. They took him to the hospital. You know, they bandaged him up. They took him back home. The father woke up the next morning and the son had shot himself in the head. This kid was like an internationally known biker, BMX, like trick biker, man. And it's all because he lived in a little small town in Louisiana that was extremely anti-weed. And when you start taking away kids' options to get high, they start finding other options. I mean, do you really want your kids sniffing gasoline or something? I mean, let's face it, the kid's going to get high. And when you put them in this strict, jacked up drug program that's basically, you know, all going off reefer madness BS, then of course the kid's going to go and find some other alternative method of getting stoned. And the alternatives are not safe like cannabis is. Cannabis is really safe. It's the only drug out there that doesn't kill people. Aspirin kills like 7,000 people a year. Same with Tylenol. Every over-the-counter prescription, every pill that you buy is completely not safe. I mean, even vitamins aren't good for you if you take too many of the things. So, I mean, but pot, you can smoke as much of that as you want. You can eat as much of it as you want, in cookies or in pill form, whatever. And it's safe. You don't have to worry about your kid overdosing. Now, I have a son, he's 9 years old. He doesn't even know what drugs are or care to know what they are right now. He just wants to go catch lizards and ride his scooter and play with friends and play video games, you know? But now I'll tell you what, if my kid gets older in his teens and I find out that he's smoking pot, I sure as hell am not going to send him off to some punishment camp where they drill you and tell you you're a mess up, you're a screw up, and if you smoke pot, you're going to ruin your life. Because what's going to happen is, first of all, those programs aren't very successful. You know, they just brainwash kids while they're there. They get back home, they go straight back to whatever they're doing most of the time. So the problem is, with this drug war, is besides that it's a waste of money and it's a complete failure and it just keeps cartels and business and violence, you know, running rampant in the borders. I mean, it's killing kids. The war on drugs is killing kids, because the war on drugs, the only drug they can really fight is weed. That's the only thing that drug tests work for. Drug tests are a complete scam to make money for corporations. They were originally invented for law enforcement and jobs like that are really high up jobs that they needed to make sure that they weren't using drugs. And then what happened is these corporations started lobbying, and now you can't even get in the damn chess club at school without taking a drug test. And that's all about money. That's all it is. It's not about keeping kids safe. It's not about making sure there's no freaking stoners in the chess club or the math club. It's about making money for some freaking corporation that's greedy and scandalous. They don't care. And basically, when people can't smoke pot, they turn to these stupid things, dude. Spice. This spice crap that everyone's talking about. Everyone's, oh yeah, I smoke spice, yeah, gets me high. It doesn't come up in drug tests. I have no idea what it's doing to me on the inside, though. There's really no research on it yet. I mean, not me, but the people of this country that are against weed are the stupidest people I've ever heard of. Besides the other people that think we need to go bomb other countries because of terrorists. Anyone who really believes that we're in danger from terrorists, you're stupid. Seriously. Because, have you ever seen a terrorist? I haven't. I've never seen one in my life. I've almost, been jumped before. I mean, I've almost been robbed, on the street. There's real problems in this country that we should worry about, instead of boogie monsters the government creates to make people rich, I mean, look at the war on terror. How many people have gotten rich off it? And how many of our civil liberties have been stripped away from us in the name of protecting us from terrorists? So anyhow, I know I'm getting off topic here, but I mean, all of this is a joke to me. And the people that are still against weed, you guys need to wake up and realize that it's safe, it's helpful, it's beneficial, it's medicinal, it's recreational, it's everything. I mean, if we just legalized it and hemp, this country would freaking crawl right out of the recession. I mean, our paper, we would stop cutting down trees to make paper. We could start using a renewable resource that you can harvest every 3 months or 2 months, But no, we got lumber contracts, and people like that want to make more money. So why legalize something that you don't, you're not going to get paid for? That's the problem with this country. It's all about money. It's all about control. It's not about safety. The government doesn't care about our safety. If they cared about our safety, you wouldn't be able to buy guns at Walmart. You wouldn't be able to buy bath salts at gas stations that are meant to get you high. And, I mean, the DEA can't stop it. They cannot stop these chemists, man. The chemists are coming out with 20 different molecules a day. And the DEA can barely outlaw one, a year. They can't even figure it out. They're just stupid. the DEA is basically only in business because of potheads. If it wasn't for pot and they didn't have this little thing that's easy to catch people using, I mean, weed, it smells when you smoke it. Your eyes kind of get red. It's pretty easy to tell if someone's stoned. I mean, without the war on pot, a lot of people would be out of jobs. You know, that's what it boils down to. And seriously though, the bath salts, I mean, if you guys ever hear of it, don't try it. I'm telling you that much. Do not try that stuff. Start spreading like awareness about these drugs that are killing people. Because if the government just completely laid off the pot and focused on the real drug problems that this nation is facing, like bath salts, like chemicals, molecules that are made in labs. Because, I mean, when you outlaw a molecule of a drug that gets you high, all the chemist has to do is tweak it a little bit. And then now that new molecule isn't illegal anymore. So, I mean, literally, the DEA can't keep up with it. And I'm just really sick of hearing all this pot propaganda. I mean, that guy, Scoot, on American Weed, I mean, that guy has no idea what he's doing. Oh, I'm against pot. I'm a cool little biker guy. Look at my little beard. Look at me on my bike. People think I'm a hippie, but I hate hippies. Dude, STFU, dude. Seriously, you need to get off your little motorcycle, put your freaking head in a book, or like, you know, do some research, because pot's fine. Pot actually keeps the youth in check, you know. Without pot, you're gonna have a bunch of kids run around on coke, and then or meth, or freaking ecstasy, or energy pills. I mean, there's plenty of harmful substances out there you need to worry about, and pot's not one of them. And I'm so sick of hearing the gateway thing. If I hear someone say, pot's a gateway drug, one more time, I'm going to freaking lose it. It's only a gateway drug because it's prohibited. You have to go to a black market to get it. How many times has anyone gone out there to go score some pot, and the dude's like, hey, you know what, man? Why don't you try some of this? And I look at it, it's a freaking crack rock. I swear to God. Someone tried giving me crack once when I wanted pot. And that's what happens when you have to go to the streets to get your pot. So, I mean, regulating it and taxing it and letting people make a business off it, that's the way we need to go. Seriously. I remember watching Sam Adams commercials. You know Sam Adams. They got really good beer commercials, and pretty good beer too. And in his commercials, he's in a field of hops. He's grabbing a handful of it. They kind of look like buds to me. He grinds it up in his hand. He sniffs. He's like, oh, that's some good hops. And I remember saying, like 5 years ago when I first saw that Sam Adams commercial, I'm like, you know what? One day we're going to see pot commercials like that. I swear to God, we will see those pot commercials one day. And we will. Once the old bastards of this country take their head out their asses and stop punishing innocent potheads. I mean, seriously, the whole prison system's a joke. It's basically a giant slave labor. That's what prisons are. And the reasons why they like potheads, arresting potheads is easy. They're not violent. They're not going to go freaking try to stab a cop or anything. And they're pretty much not going to create a riot in prison. So potheads are the best workers for prisons. You go arrest 1 million potheads a year, you got 1 million potheads doing whatever, telemarketing, whatever the hell they do in those prisons, dude. All the prisons are becoming privatized. It's just big money, and it's BS. But once again, I'm off topic again. The main thing I want to talk about is people need to wake up and realize that weed is completely safe. And if you don't let your kid smoke weed, he's going to go to a gas station and buy bath salts. And we don't know what these bath salts do besides cause psychosis and brain damage and stuff. But, I mean, they could also be causing birth defects. I mean, they could be doing terrible things that we don't know about. And we never will know about it. Because, I mean, no one's researching it. And if someone researches one molecule, all the chemist has to do is create a slightly different recipe for it. I mean, we're talking literally 20 new drugs a day they're creating. And the DEA can only stop like one every freaking 6 months. It's pathetic. And they're still focusing on potheads. That's the most pathetic thing about it. Is we've got here's some crazy numbers. In 2010, 303 people were taken to emergency room. 303 kids because of bath salts. Okay? I'm not sure if they OD'd and died, but they definitely OD'd. That number jumped to 3,500 in 2011. 3,500. Imagine that's 3,500 parents taking their kid into a hospital, freaking out, not knowing what the drug is, not knowing what's happening, because it's new. They don't know what it does. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know anything. All they know is pot is bad, because I saw a Reefer Madness commercial 30 years ago, so let's keep hating on pot instead of worrying about the real issues that we're facing. And I don't even want to know what that number is going to be for 2012. I mean, probably 10,000 overdoses. And even if you don't die, these kids are permanently messed up in the head. I mean, this kid, he sees shadow people. The one I saw in Intervention, he walks around looking at shadow people, freaking out. And he believes that they're not hallucinations. He literally believes that they are like people with technology so powerful that they can phase in and out of your sight. Basically, they can phase through walls and crap, do like some Star Trek crap. So, I mean, this kid is seriously permanently fried. He's never going to be the same. And it's all because he had an over-controlling mom who forced him out of the house because she caught him getting high. He was 18, by the way. When he first tried pot, she found out and kicked him out. Just like that. And that basically, probably crushed him. And he's like, screw this. I'm sick of my psycho mom. I'm going to go find something else to get high off, And he discovered bath salts. 7 months later, the dude's a nut job, and he's probably never going to recover. So anyone out there who still thinks pot is dangerous or thinks that it's wrong, that there's dispensaries popping up, like, oh my gosh, all these dispensaries, there's a catastrophic amount of cannabis in our town now, and it's so easy to get. No one has to go to the corner at night and hopefully and possibly get jacked or robbed or shot or stabbed. They can walk right in and go to a register. This is not good for the community. I mean, how stupid are you guys? That's completely good for the community. Otherwise, you've got a black market where there are other drugs that are being sold alongside the pot. I mean, you can either go to the pot store or you can go to the ghetto freaking market where you're going to buy some crack, some ecstasy, some acid, meth. I mean, that's what you guys are pushing your kids to go towards if you're too controlling. So seriously, you guys, spread the word about these bath salts. Do some research about it. This stuff is scary. This is really scary stuff. I mean, forget about everything else. Forget about the weed. Focus on the bath salts. Focus on these legal drugs that are being made in chemical labs that are killing people. That's what you guys out there, all you little anti-pothead people, you guys need to stop wasting your time on a harmless plant and get out there and focus on the stuff that's killing kids, which is bath salts, potpourri, incense, spice, energy pills.